talk about microgrants, so I'm just going to give it to her.
Well, thank you, Robert, for inviting me to come out. Enough Pie, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of background on what we do as an organization, and then talk a little bit about the microgrants program that we're about to launch, and kind of how it's relevant to you guys if any of you are interested in applying. So Enough Pie is a nonprofit organization, and we focus on the Upper Peninsula of Charleston, and we support what's called creative placemaking through a series of programming initiatives, one of which is this microgrants program that I'm about to tell you a little bit about. But what we really do is advocate for smart, inclusive growth. So what is the Upper Peninsula and where is it? It's downtown, and I mean this map might be a little bit hard for you to see, but it's where 17 spits into downtown, right around Hughie Street, and upward toward, I guess that's Pittsburgh Avenue, which is technically the line between Charleston and North Charleston, and that kind of corridor in between. So there's a main commercial corridor that runs along Upper Meeting, Upper King, Upper Morrison, and then there are neighborhoods that surround those commercial corridors. So why are we here? Enough Pie was founded about 10 months ago by a woman named Kate Nevin, and she is married to a man named Lindsay Nevin. And a few years ago, he purchased a building called 1600 Meeting Street that's located way on Upper Meeting. And in the process of trying to buy this building and figure out what to use it for, they really got to know a lot of these small local creative businesses on the Upper Peninsula, and just kind of saw this creative energy that was bubbling up between pottery studios and iron workers, and just this really kind of organic collective of artists. But at the same time, this is really kind of the last parcel of Charleston that's undeveloped. So she also sensed a bit of vulnerability as development moves up the peninsula. So she wanted to think of a way to kind of create an organization that could serve as the connective tissue between a lot of these small local businesses and the neighborhoods as well, and kind of use the arts to really, empower and highlight the bright spots and show all the great and exciting things that have been happening on the Upper Peninsula in advance of all this development. And really using the arts to just bring people together, maybe in a way that they would have never come together before. So this is just a list of some of the new developments that are coming to the Upper Peninsula. There are a lot of tech businesses that are set to move up there. So a lot of really exciting things are happening, but it's growing and changing very, very quickly. So our vision is to kind of, really foster, not create because it already exists, but really foster this inclusive and diverse community that's really enlivened by the arts and creativity, whatever that might mean to the community. So we really feel like the Upper Peninsula, as this kind of last parcel of Charleston, there's like a really unique opportunity for it to be open and inviting and friendly to cyclists and pedestrians, and a place where people use CARTA, and more green space, less parking lots, and more defined by its community-driven public art. So what we aim to do is provide multifaceted platforms for art-based community engagement, because we really think there's a unique opportunity to use the arts to bring people together on this end of town. And I touched on this earlier, but we really use the concept of creative placemaking, which is the idea that if you bring partners from public, private, nonprofit, and community sectors, and you bring them together and really get to know and understand everyone else's interests, you can really best serve the community. And so it really tries to animate public spaces, private spaces, use vacant lots in new and exciting ways that really benefit the community. Focuses on infrastructure and streetscapes. Green space, one of the projects we work on is a bus bench project, providing artisan-created bus benches for car stops that don't have seating. So we just really feel like the arts and creativity are centric to, bringing action, dialogue, and community together. So that brings us to our programming. So the community project grants is what you all have a handout for. And so this is going to be our flagship program going forward. We're launching hopefully in a couple weeks as soon as we get the application officially up and running. But the idea is, and as the organization grows, we hope to be able to fund more, but in our first year, we're looking to fund about 4 small projects of up to $1,000 tops. And we want community members, or even people from outside of the community that have a really impactful way that they think the arts can really, bring the community together, whether it's a community garden, or a cooking class for kids, or a public mural that's really community driven. Whatever it is, we want people to pitch the ideas to us, and then we hope to fund it. We can only do about 4 this year, but we're looking to hopefully have the applications out in the next 2 weeks and then fund a couple projects in the next 2 months and get those up and running as soon as possible. What we're really looking for is, projects that really take the mission of an FPI to heart and really think about new and innovative ways to use the arts to kind of, synthesize community engagement. We really want people to be creative. We don't have a lot of parameters in the application. We want people to think outside of the box, but also think about the lasting impact of their project. So it can be a one-day event, or it could be a 6-month thing where you work with students in the schools on the Upper Peninsula. Whatever it is, you've just got to fit it within $1,000 tops and provide, all of your own volunteers and kind of sweat equity at a project budget, but really that's it. We really feel like the best way to kind of foster a sense of community pride and build social capital is to really put it back in the hands of the community itself. And then just another program we're working on right now is a bus bench program, which I mentioned a few minutes ago, but we work with some local woodworkers who are located on the Upper Peninsula to build bus benches for CARTA stops. We've been working closely with CARTA, and they're really excited about this program because they do not provide nearly enough seating at their stops. But that's it. That was really fast. I ran through that. I'm sorry if I didn't talk really quickly. But
that's good.
that's just a brief overview of an FPI and then the community project grants. So we would love to see applications from any of you. I gave Robert a ton of extra flyers, so if you have friends who you think would be interested, please pass the flyers along. If any of you would like to subscribe to our email list, you can just go to nfpi.org and opt in, and then we'll just keep you up to date on the launch and hope to see some of you submit ideas.
Thank you. So we talked about it as a group, and we thought that maybe it would be good if we applied as the Visual Arts Association.
You have to apply as an individual.
Individual? Okay.
I mean, what you can do is you can apply and say that your volunteers will come from the Visual Arts Association. But I mean, I guess technically since you're not an official organization, that would be okay, but the only real requirements we have for this grant are we are only granting funds to individuals. But that would work, so if you just wanted to be the grantee,
okay,
that would be fine.
Okay.
And then you guys could all come up with the idea together, and then you can just be our point of contact, which is fine, because we know you and that you're good for it.
Alright, I got a couple questions.
Okay.
First off, I want to start off asking, where's the money from this coming from?
We have startup funds.
Mm-hmm.
Since we've been around for about 10 months, we have a staff of 2, and so there is a foundation that has funded us for the first year and a half,
Okay.
2 years of operation. But we just launched our first official fundraising campaign because we're about to start having to fundraise to keep our organization existing.
Alright.
So some of the money has been budgeted specifically for this program.
Alright. And as the VAA, we're interested in doing some murals.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any ideas for that?
Jeez. Yes. If you guys are ever, if you ever have an afternoon where you're able to come downtown, specifically to the Upper Peninsula, there are tons and tons of spaces downtown that I think are really ripe for murals and needed. And that's something that a lot of different, kind of community organizations have expressed an interest in. There are a few warehouses. There's one on the corner of, I guess that's Meeting and King.
Yeah.
And it's like if you guys see a space that you think can maybe work for a mural, pitch it to us, and then we can try and talk to maybe some of our contacts from the city to see if it's feasible, or get in touch with the building owner